even online. I know you guys are watching, so we're going to start this off with This Is the Day. This is our startup song, and please rise and join in the spirit so that we can get it started.
This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Sing that with me. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is a day to be seized, a day I can feel my spirit set free. Yes, this is the day. It's time to fly higher and higher up in the sky. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day all my dreams come true. Feel the Spirit working its way through. Yes, this is the day. It's time to fly higher and higher up in the sky. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it.
Welcome to West Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Clyde Goings. I'm the assistant minister here. I want to welcome you here on this beautiful Sunday morning. Hopefully the last of the hot Sundays. We're going to hopefully start cooling off. I'm ready for it too. So we are going to start off with an announcement about our Gourmets for God. So our Gourmets for God is our one of our fall yearly fundraisers that we do, and Julie is the team lead of it and does an incredible job. And so she's going to come up and provide some information about the Gourmets for God. Julie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Olive Philpott. Reba Strimple has the morning off. Welcome to Gourmets for God News. Breaking news this morning, folks. Gourmets for God has returned to the West Valley Center for Spiritual Living, and it's raining ideas. We've got field reporter Paris Stilton live on the scene to tell us more about some of these events. Paris?
Thank you, Olive. It's the most anticipated fundraiser of the year and is reported to be the only fundraiser that you can eat. I'm here in the West Valley where it looks cloudy with a chance of meatballs. There are so many events right now that are whirling around. The governor is considering declaring a state of emergency. I've heard reports of a spaghetti happening right over there. Eyewitnesses have reported the spaghetti dinner is on the horizon. Some have even said a lasagna feast may be in the works. There are even rumors of a Pizzagate by anonymous sources. Whatever the case, all events are welcome. Cooking is not required. Virtual events are even accepted. Hosts just choose a date and set it in their calendar because these events cannot be rescheduled. From what I see, all of it, it's going to be nothing but gourmet fun. This is Paris Stilton reporting live for G4G News. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Paris. Stay dry out there. For those of you who want to get in on the fun, you can sign up to be a host by picking up a form at Home's Base in the bookstore. Forms can be submitted in person, or you can find electronic and printable versions of the form on our website at wvcsl.com and email them or snail mail them to the center. Donation forms must be received by September 24th, and no late forms will be accepted. Thank you, folks, for joining us on this morning's edition of G4G News. This is Olive Philpott signing off. See you next week, and remember, eat well, be well, and live joyfully.
Thank you, Julie. And Kendra out on the field someplace. All right, so yes, our Gourmets for God has kicked off officially, and so for the new people that are joining our community and people online, so it's a fundraiser where you can sign up and either you can host a dinner or you can attend a dinner, and or do both, and so we do both. I'll share one of our dinners this year. I'm just putting the plug in for myself, I'll be honest with you. So we're doing a Mediterranean dinner this year as one of the dinners that we're going to be doing. So, all right. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. The next thing is today is Dining with the Dudes, and we have a tailgate party. So you guys can tell which team I support, not by choice but by default. So please join us after service for the Gourmets for God. Reverend Karen is starting the foundations class this Wednesday at 1:30. It's an 8-week class, and it is a basic foundation class that will teach you our spiritual principles, what we believe, and it will actually change your life. We also encourage, if you've taken the class before, to take it again, because you're in a different place right now in your life, and so you'll be experiencing it in a whole new way. So please plan on joining her on that class on Wednesday at 1:30. Also, she is going to be doing an introduction for a Thomas Chord overview, and that's going to be on Tuesday at 1 p.m. here at the center as well. So you can participate in that as well. So there is a lot of great stuff going on, and I'm really glad to see everybody here. And so let's say our vision statement together so we can get this service going. We are a loving, joy-filled community honoring the many paths to God as we learn and live the science of mind principles. And so it is. Just simply sit back, relax, open up your hearts and minds, listen to the Bradford's beautiful music, allow yourself to get centered, and be open for Reverend Karen's beautiful message. Thank you.
So just take a deep breath as we go within.
I will make a quiet place within my heart. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord.
Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know.
quiet place within my mind. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord.
Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know.
I will make a quiet place within my life. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place.
And in this quiet place, there's but one presence, one essence, that is love, joy, beauty, peace, prosperity. This essence is all there is, all there ever has been, and all there ever will be. And we are each a part of this whole, individualized. And we come together today to learn and to be able to take what we learn and show it forth. And I say a word of blessing for the Bradfords and their music, which always binds us together and brings us joy. And I say a word of blessing for Reverend Karen and her wonderful message that is divinely inspired, that teaches us to help us grow and understand. And I just release this service into the law, knowing that it's absolutely perfect. And together we say, and so it is. Okay. My favorite part, man. I don't have to be too serious. So I'm reading from Your Invisible Power, book by Ernest Holmes. I read from it before, but I'm doing a book study, and I ran across something that he wrote in here that just absolutely kind of like blew my mind. It's totally different than anything I've ever read from him, although, trust me, I'm not an expert on Ernest Holmes, trust me. But I just felt like I had to share this with everybody. The friend that is within you. You have a friend within you who is closer than your shadow. This friend anticipates your every desire, knows your every need, and governs your every act. This friend is the God within you, within your own soul, the animating presence projecting your personality, which is a unique individualization of living spirit. This friend within you is infinite. Since he is a personification of God, he is not limited by previous experiences which you may have had, by present conditions or passing situations. He has no inherited tendencies of evil, lack, or limitation. He has never been caught in the mesh of circumstance. He is at all times radiant, free, and happy. To your intellect, this invisible friend may seem to be someone else, not your real self, but such is not the case. Some have believed that this friend within you is a mediator between you and the creative spirit. Others have believed him to be the reincarnation of the rebirth of your previous self, while still others have sincerely believed him to be some discarnate soul. But you are not to accept such beliefs, for the real person within you is a direct personification of the universal spirit. He is your inner, absolute, and perfect self. The friend within you is different from all other persons, yet he is united with all. There is some part of you which reaches into the nature of others, thus irresistibly drawing them to you and drawing you to them, binding all together in one complete unity. Right now, you are one with all persons, all places, and all events. The friend within you lives in a state of poise. He is above fear, beyond hurt. He is sufficient unto himself. The friend within you is continuously looking after your well-being. He always wishes you to be happy, to be well, to be radiant. Being the very fountain of your life, this friend is a luminous presence, ever more emerging from pure spirit, ever more expanding your consciousness. He is the high counselor, the eternal guide. He is your intellect, the essence of its understanding, and the nicety of its calculations, the appreciation of temperament. Your personality is an outpicturing of the impressions which you have received from this inner friend, this deep personality, this radiant and divine presence whose life is light, whose consciousness is peace, and whose presence is power. You are an incarnation of this power, this person, this presence, and this peace. Think about that. And so it is.
Life has taught me this, every day is new. And if anything is true, all that matters when we're through is how we love. Faced with what we lack, some things fall apart, but from the ashes new dreams start. All that matters to the heart is how we love. How we love. How we love. From the smallest act of kindness, in a word, a smile, a touch. In spite of our mistakes, chances come again. If we lose or if we win, all that matters in the end is how we love. How we love. How we love. I will not forget your kindness when I needed it so much. Sometimes we forget, trying to be so strong in this world of right and wrong. All that matters when we're gone, all that mattered all along, all we have that carries on is how we love.
Wow, that was really, really beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh, Kathy, you do such a good job. And you did too. I have another job for you. Are you up for it? I forgot my water. And you'll have to grab a bottle of water from the little fridge in the office, and I'll love you forevermore. I will. Well, that and. He's ready to go get it. Good morning. Welcome to the West Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Karen Rice, and I've been on vacation for a couple weeks. Not really a vacation. I always take 2 weeks off in August. Sometimes I travel, but I try and have some quiet time because in September and then in October, we begin to really move very quickly in the circle of church and the things that have to be done according to the calendar. And so in my book, we've already decorated the tree and we're singing the carols, and, so it goes. But I've had a really good time sitting still. And one week I had some social invitations, and that was really fun. I looked forward to that. Would you also pop it for me? Oh, you're awesome. I might hire you. Here. Okay, when you get this part down better, I'll hire you. I know I don't. I usually have a pretty glass sitting next to my chair because it was a gift a long time ago. Where are you? You moved. There you are. It was a gift. And today is the only time I think I have ever forgotten to grab it. I kept looking at my chair going, something's missing. What's wrong? So we're thirsty. We're thirsty. I take time away so I can be still and fill myself up with that which I thirst for, that which feels elusive in the busyness of trying to do ministry. We're seekers, and the title of my message this morning is What All People Seek. What do you think all people seek? Think about it for a minute. If you're online at home, I want you to think of a quick answer and type it in. If you're on a device where you can communicate with us, type in your answer to that question. What do you think all people seek? And you know what? There's no right or wrong answer. What are some of the first things that come to your mind? If you're here in the sanctuary, raise your hand and I'll call on you. Sherry. Yes, Sherry? Love, yes, and it was musically given to us in quite a beautiful performance. Thank you. Yes, Robert. Happiness, most definitely. Felicia. To know myself. Good. Judy, I saw your hand. Great health. Thank you for health. Yeah. What'd you think I said? Health. You know why? Because you're a good helper. So, of course, you would project that and think, yeah, because you are. I would think of you as a helper. But I heard you say health. I saw a hand over here. Janice. Oh, Carol, are you back? Are you here? Good books. Yay. Janice, now. Oneness. Thank you. Welcome back, Carol. And I also saw Pat and Nancy. Hi, you guys. I saw you walk in too. Welcome home. See, the snowbirds they are returning. It's quite exciting. Did you have an answer, Pat? Peace. Oh, those are really good answers. I was sort of expecting anything from online yet. Okay, well, let me know. I know there's a little lag sometimes. They don't get the question quite as promptly as you do. Oh, we got a couple? Read me off what you got.
Barbara said love.
Barbara said love.
Kathy Rose said happy.
And Kathy Rose agrees with happiness, and I think we all agree with happiness and love are really good things. I was really expecting when I opened the door and said, you can say anything, I thought certainly somebody would say reliable transportation or better financial security, that we would have those quick go-tos of the things that are sort of in our face on our day-to-day living, just trying to live on the planet as a human in physical form. So I wrote in the newsletter that it would be fun to have a panel of experts, and then when I got ready to write the talk, I thought, you are the panel of experts, and so I'm happy to welcome your ideas, and thank you for playing. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of this teaching, I always begin the message with a quote from Holmes. I try and get inspired by something from our teaching. And Holmes said that the deepest thinkers of the ages have concluded that all people seek relationship with that which we call God. And I want to point out to you that the majority of your responses are exactly that. Those are the relationships we seek to establish in our life. We want a relationship with happiness. We want a relationship with love. And sometimes we get confused and we think that love is another person or companionship. But it's greater than that because we know that Scripture tells us God is love. So there are ways in which we seek understanding. We seek relationships with people and with the divine, and we can recognize the way we court the divine or seek to have communion with God is through those God qualities that can only be present on the planet as we express them, as we allow them to move through us and be part of everything that happens to us on a daily basis. We need to seek to see God and the fingerprints of God in all of our activities and experiences, because God is never missing. So the same thing, whether we're religious or not, spiritual minded or not, we're all seeking the same thing, and that is how comforting it is to know that there's some kind of intelligence in the universe that's greater than we are, that's smarter than we are, and that keeps everything moving in order in a very precise way, and that life is very ongoing because of the nature of that creative energy of spirit itself. We also want to know we're not alone. Isn't that true? I think the friendship reading was so great, Kathy. The idea of friendship and seeing that everything that is God ordained, that's where we see the idea of friendship, the idea of that bigger kind of love, not just a special other person. And so we all want to know everything's going to be okay. We all want to know that the troubles don't go on forever, though sometimes it feels like it. We all want to know that the storms come, but they pass, and we need to remind each other of those things on a regular basis. Because ultimately, what we're learning here is a big, bold, and mighty, and very deep truth, and that is that we are alive with God. And we, as individuals, we are saturated with divinity. That's our theme for this year. And then I like to add to that, and that's why we're so remarkable, because we've been made for this. So we've been made for life in the way that our life is right now, not some future life, not some way we're going to make the world better, but the way we live our life right now is how we were made. And so therefore we have to be equipped with everything we need to move through the kinds of trials that we face from time to time. Now, the more I contemplated all of this, the more I began to think that it's only natural that we have moments of yearning for things in our life that seem diminished or limited or just not present on our day-to-day living. We yearn for things that feel like they might be missing. But what we know is that the bigger picture, as Holmes said, that all the great thinkers of the ages, the yearning is for that which is divine. It's for that communion with the divine. Whether we understand it as a spiritual pathway or not doesn't even matter. So the sages and the mystics who speak those words tell us that the seeking is the seeking for that connection, that sense of being one with spirit itself. But I would say, as I thought about all this, I would say that the yearning doesn't show up in my life like a yearning for God. Quite the opposite. The way I notice where I want to pray, what's limited and what I want to reconfigure in the way that I'm thinking about it is usually in the way I'm seeing something lacking from my life. And so we use that as a tool. It's the whole point of spiritual mind treatment, of learning how to pray in an affirmative way. You got to know the purpose of your prayer. What is the condition that you would like to pray for that needs tweaking, something that needs to be shifted a little bit? How can I open myself and speak to the divine and say, show me the other way of looking at this, a new, fresh perspective? So it doesn't show up like, obviously, that I'm looking for God. I think I'm looking for something that feels missing. So therefore, it's logical that we would be concerned about having reliable transportation. It makes perfect sense that we would want to have comfortable homes to live in, a sanctuary where we can come to worship in the way that we worship, with a safe roof and with heating and air conditioning that works, and new carpeting on the floor so that it's attractive and we feel comfortable in this room. It's normal that we look for ways to have a better sense of order in our lives, because at that very basic spiritual level, we are craving connection. We are craving harmony. We have an instinct for our well-being. We know good health matters. So we attempt to satisfy all of that which feels like it's missing from us. And we do things like we go shopping, or we rearrange the furniture, or we make our appointment to see our primary care physician for our annual well checkup, or however you say that. And then we take our vitamins to assure whatever it is. And you have your own way of the way you incorporate those shoulds or your daily routine in your own life. And still, in a really much deeper way, we continue to sense that there has to be more. We never cease to imagine, nor should we. Holmes explains that by saying there's an irresistible potential pressing against everyone. Holmes says he borrowed that. That is not those are not unique words to him. But the sages and the mystics report that. Emerson was very good at speaking to this. There's an irresistible potential pressing against everyone, and if we listen, we shall hear it, but not as a voice. We shall hear it as a feeling, a divine urge that desires to express through us. And then he ends this statement by saying, and if we believe in it, it shall manifest. So something desires to be expressed, we understand it, but from time to time we forget that Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within us. And so we don't look first within. We look everywhere else, and that's probably why we can be seekers forever. What we haven't done, I think, what we could do better is to examine the yearning. Ponder, why do I feel hungry now? Why am I lonely right now? Ponder it. Put words to it. Name it. Look at it in a different way. And invite that which is pressing up against you. Invite it to be revealed to you. Then we can define that urge in ways that we can recognize the presence of God, pushing and trying so much to get our awareness that we can stand tall and hold our head up high in the glory of God and know that's exactly what our life is. When you don't identify the yearning, then you may not be sure what's missing, or you think what's missing is what's missing, but it's really something much different than what it is. What happens is we experience some kind of a discontent, and I think that can be a perfect illustration of how we are often called. Our response to that is that we try and fill up that sense of emptiness with outer things. Addiction counselors try and educate us in understanding that's what addiction is, that we're just we look for some kind of substance or some kind of thing that will help us be satisfied. But we haven't recognized the whole is more than anything from the outside can quench the thirst of that for which we the cravings and the urgings that we desire. Ken Kai's a great metaphysician and author from the 70s and probably the 80s. He was a great spiritual contributor to New Thought, but his theory was that everyone has addictions, that all of our life activities are around addictions. And so he had a really concrete way. He's famous for the Consciousness Handbook and ways in which we can do that inner work. But we're all aching for something and we don't know what it is. It seems a universal common thing that we're all seeking that one thing. Reminds me of finishing dinner. When I feel discontent and I finish dinner and I want just a little taste of something sweet, or I want Judy to bake me cookies again. It's almost cookie season. I just want that. You know what I like about your cookies is that they're not overly sweet. They're exactly and she doesn't make them real buttery. So I like that. I can't taste the butter in them. I don't know what you do. You do it well. And I want a little something sweet so I know I'm done, right? But on those days where I'm kind of just not contented, after I have a little chocolate or a little sweet something, well, then I want something a little savory, a little salty. And so then you have a little bite of that, and then but now I need something sweet again. So comedians have done skits on such things where we go back and forth and we're trying to fill ourselves up. But what the problem is that we haven't slowed down enough to see that we're not really hungry. We're hungry for something else, for something meatier, and it's not about more food. So, did you ever notice, I know I can't be the only one, did you ever notice how much time you spend looking for things? One time I came across a report that estimated how much time the average person spends every day looking for stuff, and it's a little scary how much time we spend looking for things. And I personally notice that I have even confessed in here before, I think I'm addicted to hunting. And maybe it has something to do with this theme. Maybe it's that seeker in me that loves those spiritual moments. But just on Friday, I went to get in the car to come here, and it was going to be quiet. I was excited to be here. And on my way to the car, I passed the washer and dryer, and I noticed that the clothes in the washer needed to be transferred into the dryer, and so I set my stuff down, and I said, okay, I'm just going to do this really quick, and I get this stuff in the dryer, and then I saw the towels over here, and I went, you know what, I'm not going to be gone long, I'm just going to throw the towels in here, and then I put the detergent in, and I hit go, and then I pick up all my stuff, and I get to the car, and I can't find my keys. I cannot find my car keys, and my biggest fear was that I had them in my hand when I picked up the towels and threw them in the washer, and now they're being agitated in the front-loading washer. And you know what happens when you try and open the door of a front-loading washer? I didn't know this, but it locks. It's smarter than you are. It will not let you in there. And I'm looking through the glass, and I'm thinking of how expensive this is going to be to rectify the problem. And then I caught myself in that spiral. And I said to myself, wait a minute. You need to just sit yourself down. Go sit in the car and go through your purse and see if you can find your keys. And they were not in my purse, and then I got out and I came back to the washer, and I had put my keys on top of the washer, and it had gotten moved between the detergent and the fabric softener, and there they were. So, but this is a familiar story. It's not just our car keys. It's not just our glasses that we lose. But, I'm looking for files in my computer because I have so much stuff. It's like, what would I have put that under? What folder is that going to be in? Or how about a picture in your phone? Have you been in conversation with people and they go, oh, wait, I want to just show you, I have this picture. And then you wait and you wait and you wait, and the person's getting like really, I just saw it the other day, it's in here. So we're always hunting. I also like to hunt for quotes. It's like, I just read this. Yes, what you're saying is exactly what I read this morning. What was that now? And now I'm searching in my mind. What was that quote that reminds me of what you just said? So we spend a lot of time looking for things. We sense the presence. We sense the truth. We recognize the power and the presence of God is right where we are, and then we get busy with life, and we forget. We forget the kingdom of heaven is within. But it's okay, because we'll circle back. We'll get there again, because there is indeed something irresistible that is pressing against us, desiring expression, and it's more than finding things that you have misplaced or think are lost. Yeah, I like searching for information. One of the best parts of this job is that I always get to be searching for information for the next project I'm working on. When I go away for my silent retreat, I take a couple of big bags with me because I know I'm alone and I'm away from home. I'm going to be sitting still, and I'm one of those people that I will see a great quote and I'll write it down or part of it on a just a piece of paper, or I'll write out a whole quote. Sometimes I don't even reference it, which just always gets me later when I want to use it as a quote. Sometimes you can find who did it, but sometimes you can't. So I took with me, when I'm heading up to sit silent for 5 days, I took these 2 giant bags with me that were just overflowing with papers and notes and past talks that had good information that I wanted to revisit for personal purposes. And I sat and I separated the trash from the save, and then I took the save pile and I started transferring notes into my journal or on a big legal yellow pad so that I could have them all in one place. And I left a big bag of trash in that hotel. And then I come home, and I love information. I come home, and now I'm inspired to clean more in my home. So I spent the next several days doing the same thing, going through file drawers and all kinds of stuff, cleaning and sorting and transferring notes. I love this kind of thing. But one of the notes I found on a little piece of paper, it was blue. I don't know where I must have been that I had a blue scrap of paper. And it was a quote from Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu is thought to be, legend tells us that Lao Tzu is the person that wrote the Tao Te Ching, one of the most ancient, probably one of the earliest spiritual writings that were captured and preserved through the years. And my little scrap of paper said this: in pursuit of knowledge, every day something is acquired. But in the pursuit of wisdom, every day something is dropped. In the pursuit of knowledge, we pull in more information, more and more and more, so much so that you have to start forgetting things, right? I used to be an expert on childbirth when I was dabbling in all of that. And not only have I forgotten some of the key terms, but they've changed, right? There's so much new. Same thing with chiropractic. I worked for a chiropractor, and I used to be able to name all the, what are they, subluxations? Now I can't even remember the word, right? Because I don't need it anymore. In the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is acquired, but we can't hang on to all of it. So we have to choose what we're willing to let go of and not be critical. Don't blame it on our memory. I mean, yes, it's the reason we have memory loss as we age. One of the gifts from God with memory loss is that we are able to begin to let go of some of the useless stuff that we don't need, right? But the pursuit of wisdom is about letting go intentionally of a little something every day. I was so touched when I read that quote on that little scrap of paper in that hotel room. It brought tears to my eyes, and I wrote on the bottom of it, do more research when you get home, right? More. What if we could let it go? Some days we're really good at thinning things out and creating better order in our lives. And thank God, because, you know, if you never cleaned out your refrigerator, do you know what happens to a cucumber over a few weeks? I just found a cucumber. I was stunned. I couldn't lift it out. Let me just say that. Yes, we spend time. It's good advice to let go of something every day. In fact, I was thinking, wouldn't that be a good part of a spiritual practice? Every day, just to find one thing you can throw in the trash that's cluttering your counter. You don't have to clean the whole counter off. What if one day, every day, you took one thing and tossed it away, or removed something old from your closet that you're never going to wear again. But the real shift in our lives, the transformation in our lives, the way we make room for that which we are really seeking is when we are willing to let go of an old thought or an old belief that's no longer serving us. Maybe it's about letting go of an old grudge. Maybe it's time to let somebody off the hook. Maybe somebody has wronged you or disappointed you. Maybe today is the day you can let that one have their freedom, and you can feel the peace that comes with your willingness to let go. This is even better than organizing and rearranging our stuff, because when you let go of a grudge, there is less that stands between you and God. There is less that stands between you and love. And so then love can be more apparent and easily, readily expressed in our lives in all sorts of ways. I think sometimes, this is what I kept thinking of while I was obsessed with cleaning, and last week it was like, gosh, girl, you got to stop. It's dinner time. You need to eat now. You need to slow down. You need to sit down. I was like obsessed with it. Like I think that's why we say spring fever, and that's why sometimes in autumn we like to organize and get ready for the winter. We don't need to do that here. We've been praying for the winter for lots of weeks now. But sometimes those cleaning projects feel like we're preparing for company to show up. It's like it's a sad reason to clean your house, but on the other hand, it's a really good way to get your house in good order. We always benefit. I love to entertain, because when I'm done entertaining, I have the benefit of this freshly cleaned house, and it makes me happy. But I think that we're preparing for our good. I found this Hebrew scripture from Isaiah that sums it up beautifully. In the book of Isaiah, prepare for God's arrival in your heart. Make the road straight, fill in the valleys, level off the hills, smooth out the ruts, and clear away the rocks. Then, when you have made the way clear, then God's bright glory will shine from you. I love that idea of preparing for God's arrival in our heart. It's not like God's not already there, right? It's not like God isn't there. There is something intelligent working the cells of our bodies so that we can breathe our lungs and on our heart beats and our eyes blink, and we don't think too much about any of those things. There's a wisdom within us that's demonstrated in those physical ways. It's not like God is missing, but God's arrival in your heart happens when we have softened our hearts, when we have let down our defenses, when we are seeking to see the presence of God in whoever is right in front of us at any given moment. When we make a commitment to spiritual living, I think that's the way we clear the rocks and we smooth the way. That's how I feel about my morning devotions. This is the way that I get things out of the way so that the flow of Spirit can happen easily in my daily encounters. It reminds me of that. Have you seen that? Sometimes I like to look at the Facebook Reels, and there's this landscaper. Have you guys seen the landscaper? Oh my word, he is so fun to watch. So he knocks on people. He looks like he's in the Midwest or the South or something because everything is seriously overgrown. And he knocks on the door and he asks the owner of the home for permission for no charge, he will clean up their property. And almost always he finds out that there's been a serious illness or there are financial difficulties and they're just not able to take care of the property. And he cleans it up and he films himself, but he does it in time lapse, so it's fast motion. So it's really fun. You see him like, and then he does the blower, and pretty soon what looked like an overgrown sidewalk is now a beautiful sidewalk to the front door. And he takes all the overgrown shrub off the sides, and he trims down the overgrown things that have volunteered on the property that weren't never, must be the South, weren't never planted. I lived in Arkansas. I know how to talk that way. I'll tell you what's dangerous about that is then when you're around Southern people later, you can't help but talk that way, and you don't really mean to. It's like that landscaper. I think that's how it feels to me. I love watching him, and by the way, that is a reel that you always see all the way to the end. Sometimes they cut you off, but you always get to see the end product, and you don't have to like him or go to his whatever. And what I know about that is that when we are making that commitment to spiritual living in our own life, that's exactly what we're doing. We're trimming the overgrown grass off the sidewalk, and we're getting rid of the weeds that are clogging the path so we can't tell which way to go anymore. And we're cutting back everything that is overgrown so that there will be less, so that which is true can be revealed more easily. Practice the presence. Practice the presence. Because in every moment, we can witness the presence of God if we look, if we choose to. Joel Goldsmith wrote a whole book by that title. And I looked in the metaphysical dictionary on what does this mean, practice, the presence. And it says this: to meditate on the presence of God is to indraw the universe into your own soul. You are one with all that is. God is, the definition goes on to say this, God, and Kathy said this too, God is not a person, but God is a principle that is personified in each one of us. So we personify, like it said in the reading, we personify love, we personify friendship, we personify peace. And then there are moments when we don't. There are moments when you lose your keys and you think they're in the washing machine. And then you get to then take that thought, to notice it, like, oh my goodness, this is really upsetting to me. And I can take a breath, and I can open myself and ask God to show me another way of looking at it. And then God will respond. Sit still, dear lady. Sit still. Everything will be okay. How much we yearn to have individuals in our life to remind us of such things. So we prepare the way to God so God's glory can be radiantly seen from our own living. I wanted to end this morning with a Rumi quote. Oh, Rumi. Rumi said, I looked in temples, I looked in churches, and I looked in mosques, but I found the divine within my own heart. So let us be dedicated. Let us prepare our hearts. Let us soften and find that space of loving, of forgiving, of accepting, and of seeking to see God everywhere around us. And that's what I wanted to say today. I think we should pray on it. What do you think? Well, we're going to anyway. There it is. Oh, just feel that as that music washes over you right now. Feel it and sense it. And together, let's name it God. We feel the love of God permeating this room and being fully established into our awareness no matter where we are as we listen to this prayer right now. We are unified in spirit. And so we share these holy words of prayer. I feel the love of God within me. And I know it is that very same presence of truth in each one of us. And in fact, in every living thing. For right where we are, God is. Here, in this sacred space that we create as we open our ears and hear these words, as we open our hearts and sense the desire of sweetness to be expressed in our lives through our very own experiences. The presence of God is infinite and ever-present and powerful in every way, and we can call on it. We can activate the divine principle that we call the law, the movement of life, the creative medium, the place where all seeds of possibility are planted and then burst into bloom. So we take this time to center ourselves and to recognize that intelligence indeed is healing the things that feel broken, is bringing us into a relationship of wholeness with all of life in every way. That through the way in which we release any grudges or disappointments and we just let them go, we are reunited with loved ones and with friends and with people we care about and with people we work with, our neighbors, the people we pass in the grocery store or while we're pumping gas at the gas station. God everywhere present, and each human doing the best they can in any given moment. And when we fall short, we know the beauty is that we get to do it again. We come full circle back to the beginning, and we have another opportunity to witness Spirit itself, personified in all individuals, personified in every living thing, from the blade of grass to the birds soaring in the heavens. I feel that love of God, and I know it is that very thing that is the impulse of all creation. I sense the quickening within me now, and I know that there is healing that is unfolding. Even at the sound of these words, there are physical ailments that are lifted. Our minds are cleansed so that we can see with that divine vision. And our hearts are softened and tender and accepting. And we indeed make the world a better place. And I know that the words of this prayer ripple out, and it touches, these words touch our family members, our loved ones, those who have passed and those who are yet to be born. In every direction, this goodness ripples out. For what we think and what we say and what we believe, these things make a difference. So we stand firm and together in our spiritual commitment to serve life, to be vessels, to receive the grace of God, and therefore it comes. So I say thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you, infinite Spirit, for this and for so much more, for all that is yet to come. I release these words into the law, knowing that it is already done. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Amen.
Grateful for all the love that I have. I am so grateful, grateful for all the love that I have. Everywhere I look and every face I see is love reflected, shining back to me. I just give thanks for all these simple things, the joy and peace that gratitude brings. That's why I'm grateful, grateful, grateful for all the love that I have. I am so grateful, grateful, grateful for all the love that I have.
All right, thank you, Bradfords. So now is the time to celebrate the abundance of our lives. So just a couple of quick reminders. We don't pass around the offering plate here. We have drop boxes on the way to Papke Hall where we have them with the good food in there. And we have a drop box in the back, and we also have one in the bookstore. So you could, any pledges or tithes or donations, we accept everything, and we are very appreciative. Also want to let you know that if you're not receiving the newsletter, you can receive the newsletter. In the bookstore, we have a form that you can fill out to receive our newsletter so you can keep up to date with all of the great stuff that's going on here. So now, with that being said, let's say our giving affirmation together. I live in a consciousness of good. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
Please rise for our last song. Oh, it feels so good to be alive. Sing that with me. Oh, it feels so good to be alive. I ain't thinking about my problems. I'm living now. I'm living now. And I ain't gonna worry about the future. I'm living now. I'm living now. So put your hands up if you feel like having a good time. Put your hands up if you're sharing love with all. Raise your cup if you're hopeful for tomorrow. Put your hands up if you're ready to have some fun. Now sing it. It feels so good to be alive. It feels so good to be alive. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live. It feels so good to be alive. It feels so good to be alive. One more time. It feels so good to be alive.
Ooh, can you just feel that energy? I love that. All right, so let's say a closing affirmation and go eat. So just repeat after me. I go within to connect with spirit. and know what I seek I already have. And so it is.